Alrighty, so this episode is going to be about impacts and rises, like one of my Patreons hoped. So, before this video begins, the difference between these three types of sounds. Impact is a hollow mid-range sound, at least in my opinion. Modern impacts can have some pretty massive low end. Next up is the FX kick, and that is the sound with the rumbling reverberated low end. Then we have the sweep, which is usually white noise, and there is maybe some different layers on top of that white noise. So enjoy the video. Let's go in here. These are stock drums in FL Studio. This is a great one. So let's pick this. I'm gonna throw it into the playlist as a audio track. We are going to take a equalizer, reverb, and some sort of a distortion. So now what we can do is we can make a automation clip for the preamp, and let's turn it all the way up. And as you can hear, we are making the tail louder and saturating it. And that is what we want. I don't really want it to get that loud, so I'm going to right click this, link to controller, and remember to uncheck this if this is on. Go to preamp, go here, type in 1 minus input, press enter. It reverses this signal. Now I can try to use plus 0.5 command. And now what happens is it is going to let this preamp dial go into about 50%. And after this, it is going to decrease the post gain. So let's see if this actually works. So right about now, it is starting to reduce the post gain to about 50%. So that is what we want. So now what we can do is we can take this equalizer and let's automate the low end to do something really similar. So it happens to everybody. So this EQ is doing nothing because it is before the reverb. What I meant to do was put the equalizer after the reverb, and I was gonna boost the reverb tail's low end into the distortion. But yeah, it's not that serious. I just wanted to bring that up. Now let's turn the signal a little bit more mono, like so. And let's open up Edison. And now what we can do is let's take this one. I'm going to reverse this, throw it into the playlist, and let's throw it before this sound, something like this. Alright, and let's throw this to its own mixer channel. So now this sound, we are going to add a delay tree, throw the time to be 8.0, cutoff down, tone up, wet a little bit down. And we can use the ping pong mode. This is a little bit too snappy for me. And next up, let's take both of these sounds, throw them into the same mixer channel. I'm going to use the low filter, and let's select the simple low pass preset, turn it all the way up, and make a shape something like this. We wanna fade in. And I'm going to throw a soft clipper in here. And let's render this out. And as you can see, the sound is pretty long. It doesn't really matter, but what you can do in Edison is if you click here, you can make your volume envelope. So let's do something like this to make it shorter. We could make the sound shorter in here, but I find this way of working being more suitable for me at least. And now let's go to equalizer, press enter. Here is our impact sound. So next up, I'm going to show you guys how to make. So I really like this sort of sounds. and they are really simple to make. So I'm gonna use my own kicks for this. I'm just going to pick this one. You can find kicks like this from anywhere, to be honest. And let's name this one to be the impact. This is going to be FX kick. First of all, let's make the kick reverb. So this is really simple. The same principles apply. Reverb and saturation. I'm going to use let's use the blood overdrive for now. We don't need that sound, so I'm going to make an automation again. Do a shape like this. Yeah, so some of these plugins don't have time to calculate the position of this preamp dial, for example. So what we need to do is we need to drag the automation clip further before the actual audio clip and play the sound before the clip begins. So the plugin has time to calculate that what is happening. As you can hear, if you are using headphones, we are already pretty close to an FX kick. Now just add more decay time and let's make the stereo separation to be a little bit more mono. That's too much for me. And with this preamp, we can basically control the loudness of the sound. So now we have this basic thing going on here. So how do we add character to this sound? And this is the most simple thing you ever heard. So what I usually like to do is I go here where it says drum, mode audio, and go in the percussion section. Let's take this for example, throw it in here. And for this sound, let's add a ridiculous amount of reverb. And here we go. There you have a impact sound. And you can of course dial these in. As you saw, I didn't really use much effort. And we already have something really usable. So I'm going to leave it here because I think this example demonstrates the actual process of doing sounds like this in the simplest way possible. So next up, let's talk sweep sounds. So if I'm going to make a one down sweep, after that you know how to make up sweeps, because down sweeps can just be reversed and most of them work as a up sweep. So for this, let's just use the good old 3x oscillator. Let's name it sweep noise. I'm going to turn down the volumes from here, open up the noise, press Ctrl T to use my keyboard to play the sound. And now what we can do is we can go here and modulate the volume from here, but I really don't like this way of approaching this. So let's just go here and automate this parameter. Do something like that. Make a pattern. So there you go. There is every down sweep basically, but let's make this a little bit more unique. So let's add a delay. Use these same settings. And we can of course low cut this sound a little bit. And usually I like to use some filtering. So here we have a low pass filter. So the reason behind using the low pass filter is the filter is open up in here and the delay activates in here. So we are delaying the opened up signal on top of this little bit low passed signal, as you can hear. And let's go even further by adding in a sine wave. And we can go here where it says pitch, open up the amount. remove the attack, remove the hold, remove the sustain, remove the release. So now let's actually add a reverb before the delay and just reduce the dry amount just a little bit. Now if we render this out, I don't know, looks pretty good to me. And of course you can be more subtle with the delay. Let's actually try this. So that is your basic down sweep. And now with these down sweeps, we can go even further and make this a little bit more interesting. So let's go before the delay and the reverb. And let's open up I'm gonna use the serumfx for this. Open up the distortion, downsample, and let's automate this parameter. Let's try to change the white noise to be just a sine wave. Alright, that is exactly what I'm looking for. So now what we can do is go here, press Alt B, press OK. It is going to duplicate all the channels and automations for us. Let's name this to be the noise. And let's name this sine wave. So in this channel, we are going to remove the serumfx, open up the 3x oscillator, we replace the sine wave with white noise. Now we can layer the white noise on top of this interesting sound. And of course, this is just a one way, but you can use your imagination. So in these last couple of minutes, we made this sound as our impact, this as our FX kicks, and this as a sweep. When you take these sweep sounds and you just basically reverse them, you can make sweep ups.